On TVC Breakfast, we talk about Newcastle Takeover. A Saudi Arabian-backed consortium has completed its protracted takeover of Newcastle United. The Premier League on Thursday confirmed it had given its approval after the consortium proved that the club would not be controlled by the Saudi state. The Public Investment Fund, which will provide 80% of the funds for the £300 million deal, has been deemed to be separate from the state, allowing the takeover to pass the EPL owners and directors test. Confirmation of the deal brings an end to the 18-month saga that ensued since the consortium first agreed a deal to buy Newcastle in April 2020. It also concludes Mike Ashley's 14-year reign as the Premier League club's owner, which has been characterized by a lack of investment amid an often fractious relationship between the businessman and Newcastle supporters. Well, at this point, Brownson, a sports journalist, joins me live now to talk more about the Newcastle takeover. Well, Brownson, the Premier League has eventually allowed Newcastle takeover by the Saudi consortium after early opposition. What do you think eventually changed?
Yeah, so a lot of things changed in between the corners. Don't forget that when this deal started coming on, most people thought the deal started, a few months ago. No, it has always been there. But the problem they've always had was the human rights issue in Saudi Arabia. And that changed after Amnesty International came in and said, okay, because of the viability of the English Premier League, there are some certain things we will not allow because the brand, the Premier League, is very big. And all the clubs in the Premier League, they're all very big brands. Because of human rights now, let's come up with this strategy. Now, we understand, of course, Newcastle needs some investment, but they need to separate. It was very necessary to separate the Newcastle, the state of Saudi Arabia from the investment consortium, who is now who stood up to handle that project. Now, even though there are some other arguments about that Mohammed still has 80% stake, is the chairman of the consortium, but what has been established is the fact that he is separate from the Saudi Arabian state. So that was what changed. That changed everything in the face of the Amnesty International, and it facilitated the takeover of Newcastle United. So I think it was a very big deal to have separated the states from the football club.
All right, about 19 angry Premier League clubs have resolved to meet this week, saying that the takeover will damage the reputation of the English Premier League. Is there a sense in which you share the same sentiment as well?
Honestly, I don't. I think it looks like most of the 19 clubs are intimidated by the financial power that Newcastle is coming up with. Now, when Manchester City took over, you could see the dominance, you could see the influence, what Newcastle Man City have done in the past 7 to 8 years, how they've dominated. They've won the league the most time in the past 7 years. So if you have a big money bag, as a matter of fact, they invested about 300 and something million pounds to be spent in transfer window next summer. That tells you the kind of power they are bringing to the league. They are going to muscle some top players out of their club side, and it's a threat to some of these big clubs. So I think the meeting is not, the objective is really not about to save the club. I think it's more of intimidation for what Newcastle is going to bring. But let's see how that goes. But I don't think that meeting will really hold water because that deal has been completed. There's really nothing they can do. The only thing a Premier League can do at this time is to take their financial fair play rule very seriously. You spend according to your earnings. That's the only way they can control Newcastle right now.
All right, now, as you rightly noticed, perhaps the meeting is a selfish one, not born out of a concern for the damage that they talk about. But Newcastle United will become the richest club as it is at the moment, with the owners boasting well over £300 billion. It's really an exciting time for the Newcastle fans, isn't it?
It is. As at Wednesday, I slept not knowing that Newcastle will wake up on Thursday becoming the richest club in the world, ahead of the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern, Juventus, and the likes. That's the reality of what it is right now. Newcastle, what it is right now, they can buy a Ronaldo, they can bring a Messi, they can bring Mbappe, a Neymar into one club because it's about name your price. Whatever you want, they're happy to give it to you. So it's a very happy time. I mean, you could see the celebration from Newcastle fans when that deal was announced. Everybody jumped all through the hills. It was really cool to see the excitement. Don't forget that Mike Ashley has been able to invest in the club, and they are where they are right now because, they've not been able to attract some quality players. But let's see how well this goes. But I must tell you, Ike, it's a good time to be a Newcastle fan.
Now, a number of top managers, I beg your pardon, let me say not top now, but a number of managers have been linked to the job. You have Steven Gerrard, you have Brendan Rodgers, there is also Conte, top coach, no doubt, but he has ruled himself out. They do have the capacity to get any coach at all of their choice, but the question is, which top coach will agree to go to Newcastle United at the moment?
Yes. Let me take another example from Manchester City. When the takeover happened from Manchester City, lots of people said that they were not going to attract big players, and big coaches wouldn't want to go there until Roberto Mancini. Don't forget, Marquinhos did a good job, but one thing that killed his reign in Man City was the straight 9 draws he had. When Mancini came in, lots of attractions started coming, and when the Brazilian midfielder Robinho came into the club, big players started coming. So for coaches especially, it's about how much do you have on the table to spend. I must tell you that I think, in my opinion, that Guardiola can even move to Newcastle at the stand. Guardiola cannot work without money, and Newcastle has all it takes to give him the kind of money he has to go to the market to get everything he needs as a player. So, as a matter of fact, I think the likes of Stevie Gerrard, with due respect to him, he's won the Scottish League. He doesn't look like that kind of manager that Newcastle needs right now. Brendan Rodgers, look at his trophy cabinet, in my opinion, he's not very attractive enough. I think they should, if they really want to compete for this one, they should, raise up the bar.
All right.
They should go for stronger and more quality coaches.
All right, Brownson, I'm sorry I cut in there, but for lack of time, let me ask you one more question. Rio Ferdinand is already asking Newcastle United to go all out to get the likes of Raheem Sterling, Declan Rice, Jesse Lingard. Can they pull that off?
Definitely. If you look at, for instance, Jesse Lingard, is really not a starter in Manchester United right now. We saw what he did with West Ham last season. Was prolific. He single-handedly took them to where they were last season. So right now, he's not doing very well with Man U in terms of starting. So it looks like most likely that deal might happen if they push through, even in January. Now, for Raheem Sterling, it might be a little bit difficult, even though towards the end of last season, Guardiola showed lack of confidence in him. But after he made some tries last season, he later saw that this guy is still very useful. So that also might have offended Sterling and might prompt him to leave. Declan Rice, in my opinion, is one little overrated player. We've seen English players time and time again. We've seen what this guy that just joined Man City, what he's doing there. He's not been very prolific. So I think right now Newcastle can attract much player. But first of all, I think they should sort out the issue of the coaches because players are very particular about the kind of coach they want to play under. Once that is sorted out, I think the players will fall into place.
All right, Brownson Awana, always very interesting having you talk sports with us on TVC Breakfast. We wish Newcastle United fans all the best.